Welcome to another episode of Meet the Makers, the Block.News video series where we meet some of the most dynamic creators in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. And I'm really excited to be with Eric Annan, who is the CEO of KuBitX. Eric, thank you for joining me this morning. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Chris.
I would love it if you could sort of just introduce our audience and our viewers with KuBitX. Tell us a little bit about the company and what it is that you provide.
Well, thank you so much. It is indeed a exciting moment in our lives, and I always, any opportunity I have to talk about KuBitX, I try to tell the African story, the story of Africa, the past 30 years. That I was born have been told in a certain fashion, and the narrative has been that nothing good comes from Africa. I am born African. I have lived in Africa all my life, and I think Africa has enormous opportunity, enormous potential that no other continent has what Africa has. Unfortunately, the Africa that we sit on tons of trillions of dollars tend to be only consuming continent, a continent where the West, the Europeans, the Americans, the Asians all come, eat from, go, and we go back to the West to beg for handouts. I think the narrative has to change. I was born 30 years ago, and I feel this is our time. What has happened in Africa the past 100 years, the past 50 years, the past 40 years, we cannot use the same method, we cannot use the same opportunities that our forefathers, our great-grandfathers used to build up the Africa that I was born to be part of in the next 50 years to come. And therefore, there's the need to begin a conversation. There's a need to begin to look into our story, our history, and what's the best solution we can profile for our continent. Note that Africans can only solve African problem. And the African problem we have is not because we cannot produce. It's not because we don't have what it takes to make Africa the Washington, the Germany, the China, the Japan, the Korea, or the Singapore. We have everything. And Africa is the only continent that has young active population between a percentage of about 56% being young active population between the ages of 18 to 34. And these are the future. And so when people talk of Africa, they only talk of the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the oil, the minerals. I dare to tell you that the young population, the young generation that I lead, and the change we sought to make, and the revolution we try to bring, is a narrative, a storytelling, where we saying that our opportunities don't lie in the timber, the gold, the bauxite, the oil we have. The opportunities African today we have is that which Americans, the Europeans, the Asians, they don't have. And which is this opportunity? This opportunity is our population. Africa presents a unique market, a market where it is driven by technology. And you agree with me, Chris, that the future is about technology. Whoever controls technology controls the future. And Africa, we have the opportunity for the first time in the history of the world to control this new phase of the world power, where a technology will drive it, where the new market is our technology, and the people who actually consume technology are the young population. And Africa, we start opportunity with this opportunity, with this number of people. And therefore, the idea of KuBitX, the ideation, the mind behind KuBitX is very simple. Blockchain is interesting and opportunity. Blockchain presents a very unique evolution of new technology, a new sphere where trust is no more about who you know. Trust is purely decentralized, where information value is exchanged via the internet. And we say this is a time for us to use blockchain as a tool, distributed ledger, where as a tool for us to be able to build African economy, an African economy where 80% of everything is imported, an African economy where our currencies are very weak, where our currencies are linked to the US dollar, so that anytime the US dollar gets strength, our currency get to fall. A continent where about 10 different countries in Africa have very close economies. For example, Angola, Zimbabwe, we all know what is happening in Zimbabwe. We think we can use the blockchain to create a solution where we can create an exchange where Africa will trade among ourselves. We create an exchange where we will be able to use what we have on the blockchain to do remittances, to reduce the cost of African diaspora paying so much in remittances to Africa. So the idea behind KuBitX is very simple: create for Africa, owned by Africans, ensure that Africans benefit economically with the new world order, which is the blockchain.
That's amazing. This is a very, very big idea you're doing. This is not a very niche thing. You're going an entire continent. I really like that. Let's geek out a little bit. Tell us exactly, give me some insight into the mechanisms of KuBitX. How does this work exactly?
Beautiful. KuBitX is an ambitious Pan-African project, which is we are creating the first node. KuBitX is the first cryptocurrency exchange globally to build a hybrid exchange. If I say hybrid, we all know that there are several exchanges today in the world. And according to Cambridge research that was published in 2017 December, we found out that 37% of crypto exchanges are in Europe, 27% of crypto exchanges are in Asia, 18% are in North America, 14% are in Latin America, to be precise, and only 4% are in Africa and the Middle East. If you look at all these cryptocurrency exchanges, there's one thing that is common. They all do crypto to crypto and crypto to fiat, largely. Basically, that's what they do. No other thing, basically exchanging crypto and fiat. What KuBitX is seeking to do, knowing African challenges, knowing that Africa, our currencies are so weak, KuBitX is not only creating crypto exchange like the one that we all know in the market today. KuBitX is creating an exchange that will do, among other things, crypto to crypto, crypto to fiat. And on the same KuBitX ecosystem, we will have remittances using KuBitX native token. Remember, the blockchain allows us to be able to create a token, and the token is value that is being transferred on the blockchain.
Right.
So KuBitX will have in the ecosystem our own token called KBS token. Just like other exchanges have their own token. Those exchanges have their token that they use to pay for fees. KuBitX is not only going to use the token to pay fees. We are going to use our token to do remittances, to pay value-added service like bill payment, like cable TV payments. We will also use to pay like electricity bill. You can use the KBS token to pay to top up your airtime, your mobile phone airtime, to top up several other bills. We use the KuBitX token to do trade financing, intra-trade financing within Africa and outside Africa. So within the ecosystem of KuBitX, you see KuBitX exchange where you do trade among cryptocurrencies. Our exchange is the fastest exchange in the world as I speak. All the exchange in the world, the fastest today we have does about 1.4 million transactions per second. KuBitX exchange is going to do 10 million plus transactions per second. Not only that, our exchange has the capacity to be able to do what you call commodity trading. We can also do commodity trading. Remember that Africa has a large chunk of commodity.
That's right.
Cocoa, coffee,
oil,
granite, a lot. So
precious metals.
Commodity trading, real-time commodity trade on the exchange. But these are all part of our roadmap. What is the low-hanging fruit now as we speak is that our exchange is almost ready. We are going live before end of November with the crypto to fiat. Our first market entry is Nigeria, where we can able to do crypto to naira pairing instant with our OTC and the exchange. The exchange will be open to anybody in the world to be part of it. But the good news is that this is built by Africans. For the first time, African professionals working with Google, Amazon, PwC, British Petroleum, MTN, Huawei Technologies, Procter & Gamble. We have brought all these Africans in diaspora who have worked with Fortune 500 companies, manage a portfolio of over $100 million in different projects, coming together to say, hey, this is our time. Let's build it. Let's make this ensure that Africans benefit so that we don't just become consumers like we have always been consumers all along.
I love that. I can tell where your motivation comes from. It comes from a personal place, a pride of your continent. I really love that. Can you tell the audience, where do you see KuBitX like 3 to 5 years from now? What is your kind of vision for it? I'm sure it's going to be big, and I really want to hear it.
Amazing. We are not looking back, we are always looking forward. Not looking back in the sense that we know our history, we know our story, and we know that the past is an experience for us. The present presents an opportunity for us to live into the future, and the future becomes our landing page where we can stand and to say, yes, Africa, we can do it. Yes, Africa can play in the league of men. So in the next 5 years, the next 1 to 5 years, what we seek with that becoming is that for the first time in the world, I cannot mention 10 Pan-African companies that have become a legacy company. If I can mention 20 companies from America which have been there for the past 100 years. We cannot say that for Africa. All companies in Africa are not owned by Africans. Majority is owned by our brothers, our friends from other continents. We are not saying it's not good. It's good. But competition is such that the continent must also build economic power. We must be able to build economic power such that we don't go to China, we don't go to World Bank, we don't go to IMF to beg for money. But we are able to build entrepreneurship. We are able to build businesses that can be able to finance Africa problems, to be able to finance Africa infrastructure, to be able to build young talent, to solve problems, to create solutions that will be using it in our various institutions so that we can also become competitive like Americans, like Chinese, like Japanese, like Germans, like France, so that we can have an equity world, a world where everybody is happy. And so what we see could be done in the next 5 years is that KuBitX, with synergies, with collaboration, with partnerships, I'm talking of mutual beneficial partnership across the world. The fact that KuBitX is a Pan-African company doesn't not mean we are not open up to partnership with Americans, with Asians, with Chinese. But this time around, it is emanating from Africa. We are looking within us and say, this is something that we have built from Africa. Because you know what? You are partnering with that because you want association. We are asking you to be part of it because we want to build an equity world, and one where we are all happy. We are not trying to say African cannot play. You can play. And so in the next 5 years, KuBitX will be $1 trillion company. If KuBitX is $1 trillion company, this money will be used in Africa by Africans, owned by Africans, such that our government, we can say that we will do this thing for our government, for us to build our continent, so that I'll be happy, so that we will stop a lot of migration from Africa to Europe, from Africa to America, from Africa to Asia. This should stop. It cannot stop if we don't build real cases where businesses will thrive. And KuBitX is want to lead the pack by ensuring that we become the first Pan-African company, Pan-African project, Pan-African exchange, Pan-African blockchain-based activity that will ensure economic emancipation, economic freedom is achieved for the whole continent at large.
That's great. It's very, very motivating to hear you talk about. You're so excited about it. I really, really like it. This is going to be a great question for you then. If you could have a theme song for KuBitX, what would your theme song be?
I remember this reminds me of Michael Jackson's song. I'm not a good singer. I'm not a musician. I don't have a good voice, but I remember his song that go like let's feed the world something. Jackson had a very wonderful song that anytime I hear that song, I remember that we need to create an equity world, a world where everybody is treated fairly, a place where we can all be enjoying. At least we have over 7.2 billion people in the world. It's not right for only 10% of the people only own everything in the world. What about the rest, 90%? Let's create a common world. So I want to go with Michael Jackson's song. I can't remember it just offhand, but I know you know You know that song? Yeah, that's it.
That's fantastic. Eric, you're great. I love your spirit, and I love what you're doing with KuBitX, and I'm sure our audience is really going to enjoy this and learn a lot about it. Can you tell us what the website is that they can get more information, see your white page and all that?
Thank you so much. Our website is KuBitX. Qubit is K as in knowledge, U as in umbrella, B as in Bulgaria, I as in independence, T as in teacher, and X as in xylophone. KuBitX.io.
.io. Thank you, Eric, for joining me today. If you want to see more videos of some of the most dynamic CEOs and creators in the blockchain space, you know where to go. Block.news. Thanks for joining me again, Eric, and I wish you the best with KuBitX.
Before I sign off, thank you so much. Before I sign off, I want to say a big thank you to our team. We could have achieved where we are today if not for a wonderful, amazing, supporting, dedicated team of young people working with Fortune 500 companies who have decided and resigned. Most of them have resigned their job from Dell, from BP Oil, from Amazon to be part of this project to ensure that for the first time we build for Africa, all for Africa, with a wonderful association across the world. So we are opening up. Come join us. Let's create another world. Let's make Africa the way that it is. It's not only about oil. We can use technology to change Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for joining me.